morning, good afternoon, from wherever we are joining. So we are kickstarting now. I'm already sharing okay, let me reshare my screen. I can see that I've stopped sharing in a way. So let us confirm that we can see my screen. So I hope we can see my screen. This is still my screen. So
yes, we can see.
Okay, thank you. I remember in one of the sessions we took, I really can't remember who asked precisely, but I think two people asked that this report that we are creating, how are we going to make it available, or how are we going to share it? And I remember saying that we need to create reports first before we can now put it where it will be seen by everyone. All right. And that is what led to this today. We have so many topics we need to cover, and I can promise us one thing, that we will cover all of them, but we have to take it one at a time. I do not want us to do too many topics in one day. I'll rather will take it one at a time so that it will make more sense to us. Some people are not new to what we're about to do, but there are other things that maybe they do not know about what we want to show. Okay, so I'm sharing my screen at this time. I'm recording this session. Is going to be made available. So I will minimize my Teams. If at any point in time we cannot hear me, you might want to prompt me. It could be network from my end. So this is me sharing my entire screen and I'm projecting as at now. All right. If there are questions, please feel free. This is a community. If you just join, help us mute your mic. Because I'm sharing my entire screen, I may not be able to come mute you all the time. Sorry, someone. Okay, let me come and mute the person then. Just a moment. There is this. Okay, if you join with two devices, you need to mute one. Okay, thank you. So I'll pull the slide on projection. So you're welcome if you are just joining. Sorry, if there is noise around you, you can mute your mic because this is recorded so that it's not part of the recording. There's no how we can sieve that out. Please, if you join and there is this echo around you or there is noise, kindly mute your mic. There are no stupid. I'm still getting the feedback. That's okay. Let me come and mute. Just a moment, please. Okay. So I've muted the person. So there are no stupid questions, please. So what we want to look at today, it has to do with sharing Power BI content in the workspace. What do we really mean? I'll just quickly go through the slide. Then I'll come to a report that we created in a way that I've adjusted. This is the report, right? And I'll show how we can make it available in the cloud and talk about access and all of that. All right. So sharing Power BI content, what do we mean by that content? There are a lot of things. There is report, there is data set, there is dashboard, there is workbook. You'll see a lot of them in the workspace when we get there. Now, understanding and managing shared environment. I will also, that is just like a topic and subtopic. Olajide is my name, and I will just move away from the slide. Good. Area of focus for today. We want to understand how to collaborate through what we call workspaces. For people that are new to this, do not worry. We will break it down. You understand what workspace really means. We have two types of workspaces. We have what we call my workspace, and there's what we call workspaces. When we also go to the cloud, you would have a proper understanding, you would see it. There is what we also call access, like permission. Who can do what? Who gives access to who? So there is access that will restrict you to what you can do. And there's also what we call workspace apps. That means you can actually create an app so that you can share with some people. Why do we create app? You will get to see all of that shortly. Now, this is just a small note, a piece of note, right? To tell you what workspace really means. So I put it here that there are places, all right, for collaboration. If you create a report, the report is really not for your consumption. The report is for some users. Users could be decision makers in the organizations. I mean, so you are a data analyst creating report for them. So they need to see the report so that they can get some insight in moving the business. You get steering the wheel of the business in what direction they should go. So when you create this report, how do you make it available to those people, to those users? You need to, one of the ways to make it available is to create workspaces, right? So workspace is a collaborative environment, is a shared environment, is a place where you put your reports, right? And it will be made available to other people that are supposed to see that report or dashboard, right? That's why I said workspaces are created by Power BI designer. That means you that created the report. So you want to create a workspace that would hold dashboard, report, data set, right? So that everyone can have access to it. So simply that is what workspace really means. So we have two types of workspaces, right? There is the one called my workspace, my workspace. So my workspace is like a personal folder, which is just for you. It is really not a place you should share reports to. What do I mean? The report that you are creating is not for you. It's not for your consumption, right? So, but uh, there's this general saying that when you are creating your report, that my workspace could be used as a development area. What do I mean? You can uh, publish something there just to look at it, right? Just to have a look at it. But in the real sense of it, when you create report, you want to create workspaces because that is where you'll be able to share with other people. If you publish a report to your own workspace, the one that is called my workspace, you are the only one in that environment. So that means that report is still coming back to you. And the report is really not meant for you. So my point here is that when you publish report to my workspace, no one gets to see it except for you. And you can't be working in an organization and you are publishing to my workspace and you are not sharing from there. No, that is not right. That is not done. So you create a collaborative environment by creating workspaces and you share your content into that workspace. In case it's not clear, do not worry. You would have an understanding when we do this practically. All right. Now, in terms of workspace, there's what we call access, right? Giving access or granting permission, all right? So when you create a workspace, in case you just join now, what we are trying to say is that when you create report, right? That report that you have created is not really for you. So there is a place the report has to be published to, or there's a place where you need to put the report so that everyone that needs to see the report will be able to have access to the report. And that place is what we call workspace. That's the name of the place, right? We are not saying that even when you want to create that space, there are level of access, or there are different roles that you need to grant people, or that you need to give access to people for. So there is this admin, there is member, there is contributor, there is viewer. So those are the roles. If you look at the screen, it's very important you understand that there are licenses. What do I mean? License like subscription. Let me put it that way. So I'm going to just read through the second paragraph. Everyone is a user, or everyone in the user group gets a role. My point is that there must be a role. When you create a workspace, you must assign role to people based on what they should be able to see or do. So the list you need to, the license or subscription you want to call it, there's what we call Power BI Pro. everyone that they put in organization account. Before the class, in the middle of the night, I shared a link that in case we have some people that are not working, that maybe in their office they do not, I mean, maybe they are students or they do not have corporate email. You can actually create Microsoft is that nice. It will allow you to have a feel of what that means by just using a trial version for the time being, so that you are not restricted in a way. So in case you are not working at the moment, or you do not have corporate email, let me put it that way, you can leverage on what I shared on the WhatsApp group to create something for yourself so that you can actually explore on your own. So, but my point is there are licenses to this. The minimum license or the required license is Power BI Pro or PPU, which is premium per user. It's just a license that enable you to do some collaborations, right? So I move here. This one is very important for us. Now, roles and level of permission. I intentionally put this here so that because there are a lot of people that will reach out and say they really do not understand the difference between some of these roles: admin, members, contributors, and viewer. So if you're following, there are 4 roles on the workspace. When you create a workspace, in case you also just join, I'm trying to say that that report that you create, let's say from Power BI desktop, when you are done, you can't carry your laptop to your line manager and say the report is ready, check on my laptop. No, you can't also create an email and attach. Someone was asking the other time, you can't do that. You cannot attach Power BI report in email and add people's email. That is not how to share it. How will you share it? You want to create a workspace that you now publish the report to, so that people that you have added to that workspace and that you have also given maybe access, the kind of roles, will be able to see that report in that environment, in that collaborative or shared environment. Now, there are 4 roles that you can assign to people in the workspace. Let me start from the number 4 that you are saying. It is called viewer. So if you give someone a viewer role, what does that mean? It means that the person can only interact with the report, right? The person will be able to see what you have published. He can look at it, he can click on it, and it's going to just, change, like filter. But the person that gets a viewer role cannot adjust the report, cannot edit the report. It can only read the report. It can only view the report. Another thing is that it cannot publish. If he creates a report on his own, right? He cannot publish reports to the workspace that he is a viewer. Maybe what I'm trying to say is still not clear for some people. Do not worry. By the time we do this practically, I just need to talk about some of these few points in the slide so that when we get there, to make some sense to most of us. Now, I'm just trying to say there are different roles, or there are 4 roles on the workspace. There is admin, there is member, there is contributor, there is viewer. Viewer is the list of the roles, which allows someone to see other people's reports in the workspace, but he cannot publish report to that workspace. Neither can he edit other people's reports. There is contributor. Who is the contributor? Contributor can publish reports to that workspace. He can also check other people's reports. He can also adjust it. You can see the role has access to report and dashboard. It can interact with them. This role can create. That means it can publish report to that workspace. It can edit. It can copy. It can remove some items from the workspace. Can you see? As well as publish report or schedule, refresh, or modify data. You get to understand this. Now, who is a member in the workspace? A member is like the second person in command, let me put it that way, in the hierarchy. Is the one next to, or is the one after admin. So member can do everything contributor can do. Member can also add people to the workspace. Let me give a scenario, a common scenario that I always do. See workspace as a department, though it's not, I just want to bring it home. So if you want to establish a company at least you must have at least one department, right? So if you say this department is going to be named ABC, you must employ people. You need to put people in that department. Not alone will you put people in the department, you also need to delegate responsibilities by assigning roles to them. Who can do what? Who is the HOD? Who is the secretary? Who is this and that? So see it as a workspace where you have to delegate responsibilities to people that are in that department, right? So, but when we get into the workspace, you would understand this better. Just like WhatsApp, anyone that create a WhatsApp group, right? The person becomes automatic admin. Like the person becomes an admin automatically. He can now add people. So see admin in the workspace in that light, right? That he can add people, he can put messages, he can disallow people from putting messages, not like on our own, right? Just like on our own group. I tend to be the one that add people, right? Give approval for people to be added. I did not disable you from publishing reports, meaning that I did not disable you from sharing messages, but just see it that way so that it can make more sense to you. So if you look at the image on my right, it just shows you the capability of each of these roles, what admin can do, what member can do, what contributor can do, what a viewer can do. If you look at it, viewer can only view and interact with the item. It can read the data stored in the workspace. That's only thing. It cannot do some other things that admin or member or contributor can do. Let me know if this makes sense to some of us. I just want that feedback to say, okay, yes, you understand. Please, it's very important. I also want to be able to check if my internet is fine and everything is smooth. Please, can I just get some responses? Then we'll move to the next. Sorry, I won't be able to see if you give it thumbs up. I just want to be able to confirm that you can see my screen and that you can hear me clearly.
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. Good, thank you. So I'll move to the next slide. So there's what we call Workspace app. So Workspace app, what is it all about? Just see it as an application. Just like you go to your phone, right? And you have maybe iTunes Store or Microsoft Store or is this Android Store? I mean, Google, whatever store that you get app from, where you can install some app on your phone that are not on your phone before. So Workspace also has a provision for creation of an app, like an application, right? So meaning that you could wrap, let me put it that way, you could wrap your workspace as an application where you can now share the app or a link to the app with some people. When they click on the app, they get to see whatever it is that you want them to see. Let me put it that way. Not everything. You might disable some things that when anyone is checking the app, this is what they should be able to see, right? So that is practically what the app is for. It sees, if you say you want to make something available in a shared capacity in the workspace, the best way is to create an app, like an applications where you grant people or you give them access to see the content that you want them to see. Because the business users often need Power BI dashboard and all of that. So you can create collection of this content, publish them as an application, and of course, make it available to whosoever you want to have access. So accessing the Workspace app, this is also very important. That's why I actually put this note here. If they're not important, I would just have started doing the demo. I just want you to understand some of these points are very, very important. So where can you can see, where can you get the app? They can find and install the app. If you wrap the app and make it available, people can actually, once they click, get that link. Because you need to also get an application on your phone. There is this ecosystem of Power BI. One of it is if you go to your phone store, you could actually download Microsoft Power BI, which will come as an app on your phone, just like you downloaded WhatsApp to your phone and all of that. All right. So let us proceed to the practical today. So I'm going to minimize this. If there are questions, please do not hesitate to let me know. Now, there is the report. The reason why I beautify or did all of this before the class is if we start creating the report from the beginning, it's going to just eat into our time. But I will take us through just to mention in case someone is like, how did we do this and all of that. I'll quickly talk about this, right? Then we'll now go and create a workspace, which I'm going to call Yes Excel workspace. Now, what you're seeing here, this is a report page. This is another page, all right? This is another page, and so on. So all of these that you are seeing, they are still reports. They are not dashboard. Because when we get into the workspace, we also differentiate between what report is and what dashboard is. But I could talk about it here. Report could have several pages, just like we have, but a dashboard is a single page that summarizes the entire report. Report could be in several pages, many pages of report, but dashboard cannot be running into many pages. Dashboard is just a single page that summarizes the entire report. Now, while we were creating this report, we also made provision for a mobile layout so that when someone checks this report on their phone, all right, I will pause a bit. Remember that you can't use your personal email for this. It will not work. They will not accept personal email. It is corporate email. What do I mean for as corporate email? Maybe you are working in an organization, so the email of that company, maybe something at Globalcom Nigeria Limited or something at Oracle, you get. So that is what we mean, not at Gmail or Yahoo, unless you work with Gmail and your Gmail is corporate email. All right. So that is what we mean. So if you are going to install the app on your phone too, it's going to ask you to sign in. Of course, it has to be your corporate email. Okay, so now this report that you are looking at, there is this, if I come to view tab, I will see mobile layout. So when I click on mobile layout, it allows you to design a phone portion to arrange the report on the phone so that when someone picks his or her phone, it would be easy to, you can see the structure of the phone. So it will be easy to, interact with instead of the person trying to tilt his phone or bend his phone or slide his phone. So it will just be like this position on the phone. All right. So I think I'm not sure for everything, but I think just a few of them as a mobile. I wouldn't know if I did for everything. Um, so it's just to show you that that was also done. If there are questions, please feel free to ask questions because I know some people want to say we will have wished that we created this together or designed it. It's just because of time. That's why I did some things and so that it doesn't take, eat into our time. Now, but of course, some other time we would do, one of us was asking for DAX. We'll take our time. One of the classes or session will dedicate it. Maybe that day we'll always just dedicate the entire thing that day to calculations. All right. So let's take it that way. But this report is ready. Let's say these are the KPIs. One of us was also asking about KPIs. What you are seeing on this, right, are the things that the company said they want to see. They said they want to see their total sales, total cost, profit, what are we doing on the average sales, how many quantity do we push out. So these are some of the documentation that we add with them. This is me creating a scenario, right? As if the company requested for this, right? So this report was done with the company in mind based on what they want to see on their report. All right. So these are the things they want to measure, which is like their KPIs. All right. So we have them ready. Now that the report is ready, I cannot say I want to attach this in my email. It will be wrong. Then I need to go to, remember we talk about Power BI having an ecosystem. This one is Power BI desktop. I have used this, or we've used this to create a report. There is the one you can download on your phone from your store. And there is another part of the ecosystem that is in the browser. So right now I would minimize this one. I want to go to my browser. So let's say I am on Chrome, right? and I type just a shortcut app.powerbi.com. So what you are seeing right now, so it will take me to Power BI Online. That is software as a service. So when I hit enter button, it might prompt me to sign in, but if I've signed in before, it knows me in a way. Don't mind me. So in case you are doing this, all right, you will need to sign in. It's going to ask you to sign in with your email. Remember, it's not personal email. So I'm already in the Power BI in the cloud. This one is the one as a service. All right. Now, let me confirm. I hope I'm not too fast. If I am too fast, let me know. Let me come and look at our faces. If I've done anything that you feel that this is somehow is not clear, please let me know. Can I proceed? Are we fine? I hope I'm not rushing. Please let me get some feedback just to be sure that we're fine. Yes, you can drop a message or give a thumbs up or mute your mic. I'm back on team just to look at our faces to be sure that I'm not running. I'm not. Sorry, you can let me get the feedback, maybe a message to say you're fine. I hope my internet is fine. I hope we can hear me. Victor, please, you can react. Miriam,
Yes, please,
please.
Ajide, you're fine.
Okay, thank you.
We can hear you, sir.
Thank you, good. Okay. Now, so this is Power BI in the cloud, or Power BI online, or Power BI in the service. Now, if you look at this left corner, you would see my workspace. That is the name of this. And you would also see workspaces. If you remember from the slide, we said there are two types of workspaces, right? There is the one called my workspace. And I said, if you create a report, the report is not for your consumption. So it is not proper to publish that report to a place called my workspace. You need to create a workspace. If this report is for a particular set of people, create a workspace for them. So I'm going to click on workspaces. When I click on workspaces, this is my work environment. So in case you are seeing a lot of workspaces, yes. Now, I want to create a workspace for that report. So I'm going to click on new workspace. So when I click on new workspace, something would open to my right saying that you need to give this workspace a name. So let me call it Yes Excel. Yes Excel Community. Good. You say the name is available. It would check. And if you want to describe maybe what is this workspace all about, you can put the description. It's not required, so I can just ignore. Then, though there are new things that Microsoft actually did in recent time, domain name, I'm not going to talk about it today, but just to create like I don't want to say it's a folder, maybe a big one, an umbrella where you can categorize some workspaces. All right. Now, you can put an image. If this is for a company, maybe it's for a product. For instance, let's say this is for HP laptop sort of that product. So you could put the HP logo here. It's just to say this workspace is for this and just to identify with the brand. Now, all I want to do, if I expand the advanced, there are options also under the advanced. It's just that I want to show that where you can add some other people's contacts, but I'm the contact person that is the admin of this workspace, because anyone that create a workspace automatically becomes the admin. Now you will see that I talk about licenses before on the slide. The least license you could operate in the workspace would be pro license. And I have that. You can see that there is also this, which is clickable. You see that I talk about PPU, which is premium per user, and there is pro. This is just to say, if you do not have license, that enable this, you cannot create a workspace. Though there's also the admin part, which I don't want to go to because of the many people we have that are just getting used to Power BI, right? I don't want to talk about restriction. There's the global admin or there's Power BI admin that could actually restrict, that could set it that will not allow some people to be able to create a workspace. But let's just say everything is fine and I'm just going to click apply. So when I click apply, the workspace is created and this is the environment of the workspace. Remember I talked about app, but that will be when we are done, we'll create an app. So this is the workspace environment and there is nothing here yet, right? Add something new, upload something to see them here. So now that the workspace is created, what is the next thing I want to do? The next thing I want to do is that I want to add people to this workspace. I'm still the only one in this workspace. And this is not for me. The report is not really for me. So who are the people that should have access to this report? They are the one I would add to this workspace. So permit me, I'm just going to add some people to this workspace. So I'm going to click on access or manage access. And what you are seeing by the side is to say, you should add people or group. Please permit me to talk about that. There is, if I type individual's email, if I click on this plus to add, right? You say, be aware that these are the roles that you can give. There is, you can see, admin, member, and contributors have edit and view access, just like you saw on the slide, but viewer only have view access, right? That means these three people can edit whatever it is that you put in this workspace. It's only viewer that cannot do that. Now, it's not saying, okay, if you want to add, enter email, can you see enter name or email of people? Now, let me use this arrow back because I want to talk about, in case you are seeing people or group, there is what we call Active Directory in Office 365, which you can, let's say, let me come and look at our faces just to ensure that everyone is fine. So let's say Miriam, Lolo, Oyedoyin, Isaac Shioma, and maybe some other persons. We are working together in an organization, in the same organization, and we are a team, or maybe we're a project team for a particular project. So they could create a group that would put all of us in one place, right? I'm trying to make it very easy. So when we create that group, which is maybe a security group in Office 365, all right? So when they create that group, an email will be created for us. So if I type the name of the group, let's say the name of the group is ABC at Gyro Computers. It's going to just add all our emails together. So when I add the group, everyone in the group will be added as people that can be part of the workspace. That is what I mean. I hope it makes sense to some of us. So let me minimize this. Now, okay, I'm going to add people and also add a group so that you understand. Let me type someone's email. Let me see if I just want to type something. Okay, good. So let me add, so this is an individual. So I'm going to add this person. Let me type, let me add this person. All right. Let me add this. So if I type now what I just did right now, the magic, it's actually a group that has many people in it. So my point is that I can add individual as part of the workspace and I can also add a group as part of it. So let's say, for instance, there are 10 people in this group that I'm about to add. That means that they would also, 10 of them will also be part of this group. Okay. So it's just to show that you can add group, that security group, or you can, add individuals. Now, you see that while I'm about to add them, you are seeing view. If I drop this down, I will see all the rows, right? So let me intentionally say, no, let me remove this and say this person that I want to add, let's say is a I want to give her a member, then I can say add. So when I add her, she's already added, right? So maybe I want to add Osai, and I'm saying, Osai, you are not a member. I want you to be a viewer, and I'll say add. So let me try and add another person. Let's say Adaura, you are a contributor, and I say add. Let me try and add one more person. So let me try and add one more person. Let's say this is for me. Good. Now, and say she is maybe a contributor, and I say add. Now, I've added people to this workspace. Now, these people are here, and you can see their roles. Let's say that I've actually published report to this workspace, and that this person, let's say for me, for instance, she's no longer with the company, that she has left our company, or she has been moved to another department or another unit. So now that she's been moved to another unit, she should not be seeing the report in our own unit. Then what will I do? If this person is not supposed to be seeing reports, then can you see I click the drop down and I say remove. So that means going forward, she should not see reports or in this workspace. So I'm going to remove her from the workspace. I hope we are following. I hope this makes sense. If there are questions, let me know. If it doesn't, it's not clear to you, let me know, please. So, but let's say she's there. Now that I've added people to the workspace, I would go to the report in Power BI Desktop. So this is my report in Power BI Desktop, right? And I will see, before I proceed, let me also talk about, if I click on file, right? In case you want to, though our focus today is workspace, right? But can you see export from behind there? So if I click on export, it's going to say, do I want to export this as a template or I want to export as PDF? So if I say as PDF, even from Power BI Desktop, I could have a PDF that I'm going to share with someone. But the PDF is not going to be interactive. What do I mean? If I click on any of these slicer, let's say we want to see Northeast, everything here will be filtered to Northeast. What you are seeing right now is adjusted, and whatever figure you are seeing is for Northeast. So meaning that if I share a PDF stuff with someone, it's not going to be interactive. That is what we just like a printed paper that is just static. All right. So, but of course, there is publish here. If you want to publish, you can publish. The same button that is here is also available here. All right. So I'm clicking on publish. It might prompt me to save this work again. All right. The reason is Power BI is that smart and sensitive. It just wants you to ensure that you are not losing anything. So it's prompting me to save, and I say, okay, save it. So when I click save right now, a dialog box will show that, okay, select destination. Where do you want this report to go to? Remember, you don't want to publish to my workspace, because my workspace could be seen as the development area. That's what we call test, development, and deployment. All right, which is like a pipeline. But the point is, I'm sure we understand you should not publish to my workspace, except you just want to keep it there. I want to publish to Yes Excel. So I could just type yes. This is it. Then when I choose this, then I'm going to say select. Then what this means is that this will leave, it's still on my laptop though, it's just going to be published into the workspace that we have created in the cloud. That means that going forward, this report is now in the cloud. You can see success. So this report is now in the cloud. Now, when I go back to my browser and in this workspace, I would see it now. Can you see this? Right? Just to be sure, any questions so far? I hope it's making sense. Does anyone need clarification on this? The focus of today is making available your reports and other content available in the workspace or accessible in the workspace. So is it clear? Victor, please, are you, any question? Is anyone, my point is, I just want to be sure everyone is fine. Let me see, is there a message for me? Oh, okay. Oh, thank you, man. Good. All right, so let us proceed. So please, just to be sure, I hope you are following. If you are following, just show with a raise of hand so that we'll know if it is clear, if there are no area of concerns for me. Please, if you are following, just show with a raise of hand. Oh, you can drop a message. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, good. So thank you. Thanks. I'll take that we can lower end. Thank you. Now, so when you publish a report to the workspace, right? The data set, which is like the raw material that you use. What do I mean? Uh, what I mean is that there is, though you publish a report, but the data set, which is like the raw material you use, also would show up. What does this mean? Just in a second, let me show lineage view. When I click this icon, in case some of us are using Power BI and my own environment is not looking like your own, like Power BI in the cloud, it depends on the license you are using at the moment, right? So when I click on lineage, it's just going to show me like some connections, right? So what you are seeing, please, is just to show. Now, don't worry about this for now, but just, don't worry about how it looks. So this means that this is what's actually published from Power BI Desktop, right? Actually, this is the report. But this one that you are seeing is the data set. So when you publish the report, the data set will also follow because that is the raw material you use in creating this, right? But this one that is called data set, you remember that we must click on get data in Excel, in Power BI environment to go and bring something from the data source. So what you are seeing here is the data source. What you are seeing right now is the data source. So the report I created, I actually used let me say, two data sources. So that's why you see this one and this one as data source now connected as one to be used as a data set. In case this is not clear to some of us that are still new to Power BI, when you click on get data, it's going to say where is it coming from. So if it is coming from Excel, for instance, and I click on Excel, right, it will go to Excel. So that place that is going to is what we call data source. So when I now get it and it comes into Power BI, it enters into Power BI. Let me use broken, right? Then it will now become data set. Then we now use the data set to now create this report. So what you are seeing in the lineage view is telling you that that is the history or the journey of how we arrive at this. So let me return this back. I'm not going to use lineage, right? I'll just say list. So it's back here. All right. Now, so reason for you seeing two things, the data set and the report. So now if I open the report, remember, based on the access that have been granted, right? Based on this manage access, right? Based on this person who is a viewer will not see this data set. He will only see the report because he can only view the report. He cannot alter, he cannot edit the report. When I was trying to add, or when I was about adding this people, you saw that there was this notification screen tip that tells me that, okay, admin members and contributors will be able to edit the content, right? But viewer will not. So I'm just trying to explain further that this person who is a viewer on this workspace or in this workspace will not be able to see the data set because the data set is the raw material, or the report is dependent on the data set. So if anything happens to the data set, of course, automatically something will happen to the report. So this is not granted access to tamper with the data set, so you can't do anything to the report. That is what that means. But of course, admin, member, contributor would have access. Can you add more admin? Yes, of course, you can add more admin. And whosoever creates the is the chief admin. How can I say? So in this instance, I'm the chief admin. Even if I had more admins, right? You can see my own is grayed out, right? But others are clickable, right? I cannot readjust my own. But I can do anything for others. So what this really means is that I have, or the main admin have power to remove other people or to change to reassign another role. So if management is saying that, or if there is a decision that needs to be made that, okay, this person should be given admin, so I could give this person admin. So if I give this person admin, you'll see that our own admin is not grayed out, right? My own admin is also not grayed out because I have now enabled another admin, right? But of course, I could remove her, but she won't be able to remove me. My point right now is that a member could also add people. You saw that, but maybe I need to talk about it again. So if a member on a workspace, just like admin can add people, a member can also add. I don't want to use member. Member is a role in this workspace. So a member role on the workspace can add people to the workspace. Now, who are the people that this person can add, or that this role can add? She can add someone as a member. She can add someone as contributor. She can add someone as viewer. But contributor cannot add people. Contributor can only publish to this workspace, adjust the report, edit the report. All right. So it cannot add. So who are the people that can add? Admin can add people to the workspace. Member can add people to the workspace. All right. So, but of course, contributor cannot. Viewer cannot. All right. I hope that clarifies for anyone that wasn't clear before now. Okay. Now, this is still a report, and this is a data set. So let's say I want to create, so we could publish more reports to this workspace. If there's another report that I have, I could actually publish that report. I wish I could actually publish. Let me see if I could, because by the time I'm creating the app, I want to be able to, let me see what's, okay, let's just work with that one, right? So let's go back to the workspace. So if I click on this, then the report will open, just like what you are seeing on the desktop. So this is the report in the cloud opening. And of course, instead of seeing the report pages at the bottom, I've seen them on the left side on this workspace. Now, so what can you do? We actually want to create a dashboard, but I'm trying to open up the report so that you have an idea of what else can you do. So you could actually save a copy. You can download this file. When you download this, it's come down. You can, permission is about, so when you click on permission, it's about access. I mean, if, for instance, if this workspace, people outside of this workspace, maybe they also need to see, uh, you want to share this with them. So you could also alter the access to say, okay, they cannot do this. This is what they can do and all of that. So that's why you see access. So if I want to export, I could also export by saying, okay, someone actually need PowerPoint. Maybe the person want to use it in his or her presentation. So I could actually download a PowerPoint and give the person so that he can use it in presentation. Or I can embed live data. What does this mean? Recently, Power BI enabled embedded live data where you would be able to call up Power BI inside of your PowerPoint, and it will be interactive. When you click, everything will just change. That's the meaning of live data. But this one is just an image, which is not going to be interactive, just like a PDF, right? That is not interactive, but this is going to be interactive. Of course, you can see that there's also PDF here, even in the cloud. I mean, the same PDF that you get here is the same one that you get from the one from Power BI Desktop under the File tab. So you could share. You can see if I click on share, if I click on share now, it will allow me to share, meaning that I could actually share with some people. You can see people in your organization. That means people that are not part of the workspace in case I want to share with them. So that means I could share with them, right? And I can now adjust this permission. What can they do? What can they not do? Do I want to allow recipient to share this report? If I don't want them to share with someone else, maybe management want them to just see the report, so I should be able to share with them, but they should not be able to share with another person. Or they also, maybe you were asked to assign to let them be able to use the data set, right? That's the meaning. Allow recipient to build content with the data associated with this report. That means if I check this and apply this, right, they will not only see the report, they'll be able to share the report and also use the data set that was used to create this report, create another report if they want to do that. So that is what this really mean. So that is what this is all about. So, but my point is we are not talking about all of these buttons today. We just want to focus on workspace, dashboard, then workspace app. So that is the focus for today. Though there is this record that I've created, there is row level security as part of it, but I don't want to, because we are not starting that from the beginning, so that it doesn't look strange to some of us. So any day we are trying to deal with row level security, we'll take that from the beginning. Now, let's say that we want to now create a dashboard. And let me start with this. There is what we call in life, all right? What does it mean? We want to create a dashboard. So you could create dashboard in two ways. If you are using, let's say this whole page, maybe I want to use this entire page as my dashboard, right? Then I could actually pin this. I click on this ellipsis, this three dots, and I see pin to dashboard. What this means is that he is going to take the entire page as my dashboard, this one single page as my dashboard, right? If I do that, then this will just represent my dashboard. But I don't want to do in life. I want to pick from several reports, right? I want to pick from several reports so that I have a single page that summarizes the whole thing. So let's say from this page, I want to pick this total sales. So if I over my cursor and click around it, I'm going to see pin visual. So when I click on pin visual, then a dialog box will show that, okay, this one that you click on, you want to pin to a dashboard. Do you have any existing? If not, create a new. So let me say this is yes dashboard. Yes dashboard. So when I say pin, or let me just say yes, because this is a dashboard. So let's just say yes. So if I say pin, right, then that dashboard is created. Let's say, so why should you create a dashboard? We talked about it earlier that dashboard is a single page that summarizes uh, different reports or many reports, right? So I picked something from it. Let's say I was instructed to create a dashboard that will have some KPIs that they want to measure. So let's say that total sales is important. They want it on the dashboard. I have done that. So I'll go to channel report page. Let's say this is important. All right, it could be anyone. So let's just say this one, or this is important to the management on the dashboard. So I will just click on this pin, and that dashboard interface or dialog box will show, and it's asking me that, do I want to add it to the existing one, or I want to create a new one? Of course, I want to add it to existing. If I could, you could have many dashboards in one workspace, you could have many reports in one workspace, you could have, several things now, but this is the only one, right? That's why you're saying yes. I want to pin it to the existing. So if I say pin, all right, then it goes there. Let's say I want to pick, I'll just pick from this, then I'm going to just stop just to show. So let's say this is also important. So I'll pick this one. So this one means that maybe you want to change the themes, which is like the color. That is what this really means. Keep current themes or use destination theme. So, but I want to maintain everything. So I click on pin. Now, so I just want you to assume that I have picked from several pages, right? The dashboard is now available. So let me go back to my workspace. So now, if I go back to this workspace called yes, now yes is now there. It wasn't there before, but there is now under the tab. You can see there is report, there is data, so there is now dashboard, right? If I go back to lineage, you would also see that dashboard has now been added. It wasn't there before. This just shows the lineage, the movement, the journey, the flow of everything. So let's go back to view. So now the dashboard, if I open this dashboard, right, I would see the things I have pinned. I could adjust them though, right? So there is this Q&A, which you could also remember that there is natural language in Power BI Desktop, which you could also just use. So it's also available in the dashboard where you could just ask questions. So if I ask a question, let's say, okay, top 10 product by category. If I want, it's just suggesting, I could just pick this, right? Or I could type. So if I type, of course I have it, but if I pick this, it's just going to display that. Then if I want to pin this one, you can see, then I can pin it. So when I pin it, of course, it's going to be added. You can see, just like I want to pin a visual. So, but I just wanted to show that I'm not pinning. Let me exit Q&A and I'm back here. So this is a dashboard. All right, so let's go back to, yes. So now that we have this, let's say that's all. Others could publish to this workspace, please. I mean, contributors, members, all right, they could publish to this workspace or other admins. Now, let's say that's all. We now want to create an app. So if I click on create app, then I have this interface. Before I proceed, let me sum everything. Let me look at the faces and still explain again. So what we are trying to do is that a report has been created in Power BI Desktop, right? And this report has to be available. How will it be available? It is by creating a workspace, or one of the ways is to create a workspace so that you can publish the report to that workspace. Whosoever you have added to the workspace are the people that will see the content in that workspace, right? Unless you are now sharing from the workspace to other people that are not there. So that is exactly what we are doing right now. So we are now trying to create an app. Now, let's say I just want to type something, please. Just say yes. You just put something because it's required right now, the description. So let's just say yes, yes, people. All right, just to put something. Now, I could do a lot of design, pick a team, pick a logo. So let's say I'm fine, right? And what I showed on the slide is the global app settings that if I check this to say they will be able to install. So when they click on the link that will be generated, it would take them to where they can download the app. That is what this means. But let's just say I'm fine. Now that I'm about to create the app, oh no, show. Okay, it's fine. Show all item. So it's not trying to say that, I just want to scroll up so that you see. I've given it a name. Yes, Excel. I could change the name, right? I could change the name to Yes, Excel. Maybe that's the name of the app, not the name of the workspace. That should not maintain the same name. So if I just choose this, then then I can say add content. So when I click on add content, it's going to navigate me to say, okay, it's done the setup. The next thing is to add content. So let's say there are many content here. Now, because Power BI is so lovely that it's been updated like every month. So if last month you check and you've not been working with it and you're checking this month, you'll see another feature that will be like, how did this get here? Now, if I drop this down, I could actually add a link, meaning that if I put a link I could put, let's say, a website link so that when people click on the link, it's just going to navigate them. Or I could add a new session. I'm not going to add, but I just want to show. So that when I create sessions, I can now put maybe in this session, this is what I want to put, and these are the people that should see it. I could create another session, right? It will just allow me to put some things. That is what it means. I can rename it, I can delete, I can move something, but let me delete because I just want to make it easy for us. Now, if I click on this plus, it means that I want to, can you see, insert report, dashboard, the work. Is there a question for me? Go ahead.
Mm-hmm. Those are neat sense.
Sorry, is there a question, please? Okay, all right. So, so I will just click on plus, or I can see it here too, right? Then I can add content. So anywhere you click, please, so you'll be able to see that. So it will allow you to say, okay, what do you want to add as part of your uh, content? So that means that you could have several things here. But maybe you have been authorized to only let them see this and not that. So that is why you have this option to say, okay, select what you want. So if what I want them to see is only the dashboard, if I select this, then they will not see this. Maybe I don't want them to see dashboard. Maybe I want them to see. I'm just trying to let you know that they would, so let's say I want them to see everything, then they will be able to see. That's what I want to add, right? So if I say add, then it's not going to say, okay, now that you have added this one, right? Who are the people you want to give access to? If I expand this, you'll see all the reports. All the reports are here. All right. Dashboard is standing alone because it's just one single dashboard. If you have several dashboards there too, I could decide to show all or not based on whatever instructions, right? Now, then if I click on add audience, now if I minimize this. All right. So audience, if you might want to add new audience are the people, because when you are done with this app, these are the people you want to share, you want to give the link or share this app with. So whatever you have added into the app, they will be able to access it. That is what it means. Before you publish the app, which is always the last thing. Now, you can see specific user or group. If I type, let's say, the one that I didn't add before, if I say the magic, you can see magic team. So that means that I'm allowing these people to have access to the app. That is what this means. But if I type email of people or name of people, of course, I would also be able to grant them access. So that is what this really means, please. So these are the people. You can see workspace users. That means that you can see user and group in the workspace can have access. So people that have already added to this workspace, they would have access to the workspace. So if I'm also going to add new people, this one we have, that is while it's saying that anyone that is there, all right, will be able to can see. And that whatever settings I do will affect them. Anyways, let's say it's just limited to them. So let's say I've identified everything and it's fine. So if I click on publish app now, don't worry, it's going to just be ready. So I'll just click on publish. Now it's ready. So though if I share this with us, nobody will be able to see this because you are not part of the domain. What do I mean? You are not part of at cherrycomputers.com, except for people that have the email of cherrycomputers.com. I mean, for people that have specified that they should see. Just like we were talking about audience, right? For people that have indicated in the audience, they are the only one that will see this. If I provision that everyone should see, then I will have added the entire organization. Then that means the entire organization will see it. As many in the that have at cherrycomputers.com would have access to it. All right, but of course I did not specify that. So I've copied this though. Then if I click on go to the app, then it's just going to take me to the app. Can you see installing an app? So meaning that if I share this link with anyone and you click on your phone, the first thing is that it would, if I've said they should install the app, if I click that, right, then it will take you to your phone store and say you should install the app. But just for you to see, the link that I copy, if I paste it, Control V, right, and I press enter, the same environment you are seeing is what you will see. Can you see? It's now asking me. He didn't know that I'm the one. It's not that it's, anyways, it's now asking me to know if I have access or not, right? So that means if I share this link with any one of us, it's going to ask you to sign in. So if you are not part of the audience, you won't be able to see. Of course, if you are part of the audience, you'll be able to see. So let's say this is me. I hope it's not going to ask for too many things other than that. All right, then you can see it's taking me directly to the app. Because he knows I'm the one in a way, right? If it is another person that is not admin, if it is a viewer would, I mean, based on the roles, your roles will determine what you can see. All right. So, so this that you're seeing is the space or workspace app. Of course, if I just collapse this, what you are seeing right now is everything there. Of course, if I expand, you could view, expand this, you could check all of these one at a time. If I click on channel, you'll see channel. Remember, because I've added it as part of the content, if I have not enabled this, if it is only dashboard that I've enabled, it's only the dashboard you would see. You will not see any other thing that has not been added to the workspace. Now, please, any questions for me? Any question, please? Any question, please? Please be free. You can ask any question, maybe about the report, about the workspace, about the roles. Please be free. Any question? Is Victor still on the call? Because I remember, I think Victor and one other person. Sorry, go ahead.
Okay. Can you add people from another organization to the workspace?
How will I, if you say people from another organization, so I like that question. Fantastic. So take a look. If I want to add people, I really couldn't add them. You know why? When I was logging in into this space, my email carries at gyrecomputers.com, right? So that brought me into this environment. Now, I need you to permit me to drop this down, right? Power BI is just one of the options or one of the app in Office 365. So just the Power BI is just one. So if you say, can I add people from another domain? If the global admin from Office 365, let's say we are how could I put this to you? We're a conglomerate. So let's say Tosin, you have several companies, but you are the owner of the several companies, right? So they are under the same umbrella. There is how you could do that from Office 365 admin, right? Or global admin to say that this company is under this umbrella. Let's say at tosin.com. There is also at Tosign or another name. So that way, that provision could be made from the Active Directory or global admin. I'm just trying to say it's beyond the settings in Power BI. Power BI settings is just for Power BI. But if this has been done from Active Directory, it may not make sense to you in a way, unless you know what I mean, right? So if that is done, of course, it will be available to that kind of persons. Let me know if I answered it correctly.
Yes.
Okay. So any other question? In order to show you, so if I click on this, let me click on settings, right? You will see what I mean. So look at Power BI settings. There should be admin portal. Let me see Power BI portal. So if I click on this admin portal for Power BI, this is just admin portal for Power BI, right? So, but if you go to Workspace, for instance, let me go to Workspace. Take a look. View personal or group or whatever. My point is that whatever or tenant settings, there is restriction because there is still the global head that determines what happens to other applications within Office 365. So any other questions for me, please? Okay, so let me ask. So if this Miriam, any question, please? Any contribution, any clarification? Chioma, are they doing any comment? Is it clear to some of our new people? Olajumoke, please, is this clear? Oh, Olaiton, please, is this clear? I hope we can hear me just to be sure. So if it is, then I do not want to put too much thing. Some people DM to say that, no, as long as some people want many things, they want to learn at a time. But I discovered that if you put so many topics in one day, right, maybe people are not going to the satisfaction or I just want people to grasp one thing at a time. So that's why I am limiting this to the workspace today. So, but if there are questions on the workspace, let me know, right? Normally, we want to do data flow, and I look at the data flow, and I'm just like, I hope some of the people that are just getting to know this would understand how I'm going to do that calculation or how I'm going to do the data flow. So I feel that when they now understand the workspace first, so by the time we are doing, let's say, data flow the next class or whatever we are doing, so they will now know that there is an environment in the cloud, which is the workspace where I can now create a data flow. This is what I'm trying to say. I've already created a workspace, right? So in this workspace called, yes, let me search for it. Yes, right? So if I go to this, yes, it's just to show, right? But we are not going to do so that I don't confuse people. So if I drop down this one, I'll see data flow. Okay. Now, people are used to Power BI desktop. And if I go to transform data, right, you would see Power Query Editor. I'm just trying to wait. I just need us to respond to this, okay? Because I moved this to a new, don't worry, because it was on another laptop, let me just go back and trace it for you now that you are saying this. So I need us to respond. But I'm about to show something, but we might not be able to finish it, but I just want to touch on it, right? Where is this? Where is the Microsoft? Let's see, maybe it's electronic sales. Good. And say, okay. Oh. So my point is, don't worry about that. The intention today is not to work on this one. So this is Power Query environment. So now if I go to the browser and I say I want to do data flow. Data flow is the Power Query online. Data flow is the Power Query online, but today is really not for data flow, but just to maybe touch on it before we stop in the next few minutes, right? So if let's say, for instance, I want to say I am, okay, let me pause a bit. My point right now, if there are no questions on Workspace or why I'm waiting for Workspace, I only want to show something as regards data flow. So this is not a detailed class for data flow because I would love that we digest Workspace. But for some people that, requested for data flow, we would do this properly, but let me just show something. So in case you're wondering, how did I get here? Please let me go back to the workspaces. I have created a workspace called Yes. All right. So from this workspace, I drop down new and I see, do you want to create a new report to this workspace again? You want to do paginated report? You want to do scorecard? Or you want to do dashboard? You can say build a single dashboard data story. Do you want to combine data set? Do you want to, well, I just want to show data flow. So when I click on data flow, so data flow is like Power Query online. That is what this means. So let's say that I want to add a new table. You can say choose data sources. Remember that when you go to Power BI Desktop and you want to get data, it's going to also show you the list of data source where the data is coming from. So let's say I want to add a new table. So when I click on new table, I need you to pay attention to this top left corner, right? It's still loading though. Just a moment. I hope this doesn't take time. So while it is loading, please, any area of concern. Any questions for me? Um, okay, so why is loading? Let me come look at our faces. Okay, Victor is not on the call because I think he was one of the people that asked that how will that be available? Okay. Yvonne, any question, please? Uchenna, any question? Tosin, I've answered your question. If there are more, let me know. So I hope this is okay. Almost here. It's just to show this. Good. Take a look at this corner. Can you see Power Query now? Because a lot of people did not know that there is Power Query online. Maybe saying a lot of people. I know some people do not know, right? So that's why uh, someone specifically asked that, can we do Power Query? Can we do some cleaning online? So and I said, okay, that's data flow. Reason I added data as part. Can you see that you have the data sources? Where is your data coming from? So if I, for instance, say it's coming from Excel, just to make it simple, right? So if I click on this, it's not going to say, is this from your desktop or there is a link, maybe it's online or something. So let's say that it's coming from my file. So if I click on this, can you see drag the file? So I can just click on browse. So when I click on browse, it's bringing me here. Then let me look for, I think which one right now? Let me just pick this one. Then it's going to, let me minimize this. It's loading what I chosen. Right. Okay, good. So can you see next? So that means that uploaded successfully. So if I click on next, but just for you to know that data flow, because is, how will I say that? We just want to, is really not, the focus today is workspace, but data flow is like a, how will I put it to you? Like a storage, right? That your data set would connect to. You'll see it anyways. So if you do data flow, maybe let me, someone, I'm thinking someone is trying to ask a question. So if you do a data flow, right? And you want to do schedule, you want to schedule refresh. This is for the people that are already using Power BI. You must schedule your you must refresh your data flow before. I mean, data refresh cannot happen without data flow and data set being refreshed. That is what you need to know. That means you will do two refreshes. You must do refresh for data flow, and you must also do for data set. Of course, before the reports would be uh would be refreshed. So let's say this is the only table I need, and you can see now that this, because they are both the same thing actually, right? So let's say this is what I need. Then I can now click transform. You already know that this is how Power BI operates, right? So when I click transform now, it's going to show me all the commands, all the tabs you can see in Power Query, desktop. You can see get data, enter data, manage parameter, refresh, advanced editor, choose columns, remove columns. You can see the apply step on the right. So whatever thing you do here, you now save it and close, just like you have in Power Query that close and apply. All right, just like you have here, close and apply when you are done with all of the cleanings. When you are done with this, you can remove columns, keep columns, transform, you can append, you can combine, I mean, merge and all of that. Okay, so any questions for me? Any question, please?
What's the importance of doing a data flow?
Okay, so um, if, okay, I like that. Nice questions. If you say importance of doing a data flow is, let me put it this way. It's like a storage, right? That you have done in the cloud. That when you, let me put it this way. So when you come to, let's say I've created a data flow, I'm looking for the right word to put to you. So let's say discard this. No, let's say close and don't apply. Close and don't apply. Close, don't apply. Now, if I have done data flow, let's say I've done the data flow, I've cleaned it, I've done everything. Remember, data flow is like on Power Query online. And you know that Power Query is a transformational machine or transformational engine that helps you to clean your data. So now that you did not use the Power Query, the desktop version, you use the online version to clean your data. So you are not loading, how will I say it now? It is stored. The data flow is like a storage in the cloud, not like a server though, right? I don't want to say serverless server, but it's like a storage where you have your data reform, where you have done the ETL in the cloud. So if I click on get data, most people have asked me that, what is the meaning of data flow? So if I click on this data flow, right? So data flow is also a data source, just like, but this data source is in the cloud. It's not sitting on my desktop. So if I sign in, it will require my, which one am I using right now? This one. Good. Yes, connect. So whatever data flow I've already created, I will see them. Though I've not created anyone in that environment, right? Um, okay. So if I expand, let me see. I think I have some data flow. Just a moment. Okay, let me see. I should have some here. Okay, good. Now, let me say this way to you. One of the importance of data flow, right, is, or why should you use data flow? So it's like a centralized, how can I put, data architecture. I'm trying to look for small word, not big word, which is it's like a data cloud storage, right? uh, which is an online. How I can say to you is that I may not have the right word, but the same thing you do with Power Query, just like is a transformational tool of cleaning. I think that's the right word. Just like Power Query on the desktop, which is not the online version, is a transformational tool. You can also leverage on data flow in the cloud to do that. One of the things it will do is, I think it enhance incremental refresh. Yes. Yeah. So I don't know if you understand what I mean, but if you don't understand what I mean, that's why I don't want to go to speaking big grammar. So uh so let me know if you pick anything. Yes, Tosin, let me know if you pick anything.
Okay. Yes, I did. Thanks.
Okay, because another thing I can say is that in terms of efficiency, right? It is when you work in the cloud, you will know, because right now this is not sitting on my laptop. This has been done in the cloud. So in terms of efficiency, and I said it's like a storage, right? That if you want to do refresh on your data set, you also need to do refresh on the data flow. So I can say it makes your preparation or your it's enhance. I think that's the right word. It enhance efficiency. It improves efficiency, right? Though Power Query on your desktop too is nice, but I'm trying to say that when you do this online, it's already in the workspace. It's already online. So it's not like it is in your Power Query editor. Though when you get it, you can still do some adjustment in Power Query editor, but I think the key thing for me is that it improves efficiency. Yes. And because it's also online, so there is not going to be any delay or flow or any delay. So incremental refresh will be smooth. Yes. Yes. So because I wouldn't want to be using some languages or some grammar that people do not understand. Someone would now say, what is incremental refresh? So I don't want to go into that. But as long as you're fine, as long as you're able to pick something, so please take it that way. So if I choose, I'll see some things, right? So if I expand one of this, can you see there is a flow here? So if I expand this, then I can use a hand. Take a look. So the same table that you're seeing here, I've already created it, cleaning it online with the data flow. So if I pick this now, I will be able to load directly because I've cleaned it. But if I still need to do some cleaning, for instance, let me just check this. Then I can actually now come and still do some transformation if I need it. Though this table is empty in a way because I've not done it properly. So just for you to know that that is my point is data flow, right? Is the Power Query online or the version Power Query version online. So that is data flow. All right. So any other questions for me before we end the session? I was planning we'll just close 12:30. That's 11 to 12:30. That's 1.5 hours. Any questions for me, please? If what we have done, if it is not clear to you, let me know. If you need clarification, let me know. Tosin, thank you for those questions. They are fantastic questions. So I hope that some people, okay, everyone, if this is the first time you are seeing data flow, not the one from Power BI desktop. Let me just show with the raise of hand. Okay, what are you doing? Thank you for that. Tosin, thank you. I'm waiting for that. It's just to so that by the time we want to, I really don't want to take our time. I will have done this from the beginning. Just for you to know, right? Okay, Abolali, thank you. Just for you to know, I already have that prepared, right? Just for you to see. But I now look at it that it's going to be a lot of things at once, right? Just for you to know. There's going to be a lot to put all of that together in one place. You can see data flow, benefit of data flow requirement, getting data from so just for you to know that there is, before I now say, okay, let's just not put too much thing in. You can see one place. You can see data flow and data refresh. Previously mentioned all of that. So it's just for you to know. All right. So please, we would it will
Excuse
be
me,
the
sir.
yes, please tell me. Go ahead now.
All right. Good afternoon. Thank you so much for the class. Thank you so much for the opportunity. God bless you. So actually, I have a question.
Yes.
So I think I have a Power BI app on my phone, like a phone app, and I really don't know how to use it. And my question is just, does it also work the same way the browser app, like the online app, like does it work the same way it works too? Or how do I use the phone app, like the Power BI phone app on my phone?
Okay. So everything is in sync. Sync means synchronization. Power BI on your phone cannot just be an idle instrument. You get it must be in sync with the cloud Power BI. That is why we say Power BI is an ecosystem. Just like Power BI desktop would be, I don't want to say useless without data, right? Just imagine that if I use Power BI desktop and create reports, I will not carry my report from one office to another. I need to publish to the cloud. So when I publish to the cloud, right, then I would be able to see it on my phone. That report that I have published to the cloud, I'll be able to see it on my phone. So how will I see it or where will I see it on my phone? It is via the Power BI mobile app. So meaning that you cannot create report with the mobile app. The mobile app is to be able to visualize or see or interact with a report that has been published to the cloud. Let me know if I answered you correctly.
Yes, sir. Perfectly. Thank you.
So that means you need to have corporate email. You get the point. If you have corporate
Yeah.
email, I shared a link on WhatsApp where you can enjoy free, trial for some days. So they will allow you to create an email for yourself, maybe at olaiton on Microsoft.com. I'm telling you. So you'll be able to then normally you could download Power BI Desktop without signing in. even right now without any email. But by the time you create report and you now want to publish to the cloud, because what is the use of having Power BI desktop and you create reports and you are not publishing it online? You now attach email. If you attach email, just imagine that you now attach email. Someone that does not have Power BI desktop will not be able to see the report. Or do you want to be carrying your laptop, or you want to project and everyone will be looking at your screen? That is not the way it ought to be. You get the point. So the report
Yeah.
must be published to the cloud. So when it is published to the cloud, someone on his phone or her phone can access the report. Someone on the browser can access the report. Someone on the desktop, which is connected online, can access the report. So that is how everything is in sync. So if you create an account for yourself, or if you need guidance, of course, you can reach out. I could create a time where I would, or if anyone that does not have a corporate email, so that you can leverage on the free period or the trial, right? I could create a time where I'm going to walk us through that, so that you can be creating report on your desktop and be able to create workspaces and publish there, though you don't have anyone that you're adding, so that when you, by the time you get a job, it won't be strange to you. Like it won't be like new to you. So you are practicing, you are trying to do something, you publish, you check it on your phone, you interact with the environment, see how it does. That way you have like broad knowledge of Power BI architectural design or Power BI environment. And I mean, that's the way to go. So I hope this makes sense to you.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
You're welcome. So if there is anyone that does not have account, Tosin, your hand is still up. Please go ahead. Tosin, your hand is up.
No, sir.
Okay. Okay. So if there are no questions, oh, Miriam, please go ahead. You want to say something, right?
Yes, I just wanted to ask a quick question. You were showing in the slides as to when to use data flow or Power Query
Okay. Yes.
editor. So I wanted to confirm where is the advantage? Just apart from the incremental refresh you had mentioned, in what situations do you choose to use data flows as against going to use your basic Power Query editor? Are there any form of advantage and disadvantage to both of them?
And okay, let me put it this way, right? Um, the the environment is the code. Okay, let's come from that angle. The way the code is, though M language is the, sorry for everyone that is new, right? You get to hearing M language, don't worry, we'll touch on that later. So M language is the language of Power BI query. So, but there is something about the code, how will I put it, in online. My point is, if you copy the same code from Power Query editor, the depth of version, and paste it online, you could have error. It's going to flag some errors because there is how is speaking. Though it's the same code, but there is some adjustment you will need to make, right? So, but which one should I use? Which one should I not use? One of the advantages of data flow is that it redefines the flow of code. Unless I practically do this, right, we may not have an understanding. Then another thing which I know is also relating to the code. So in identifying excess code, if it exists, right? So if there are too much line of code, meaning excess code. So when you are writing some code, sorry everyone that is new, right? You know that when you are writing code in Power Query Editor, you have to say like text.select, table.add columns. So by the time you are using data flow, right, all of the excesses, so data flow help you to identify some of those. I'm not going to say maybe duplication or tautology or something, right? There's what we also call computational variables. This language are the things I don't want to be saying, so that some people are not thrown off balance in the class, right? And in terms of the execution, when you write a code and you run it, or when you don't want to start writing some code, right? So when you write a code and you click on done, if the code is wrong, it's going to, even before you are done, there will be red corner. right? So apart from maybe incremental refresh, so these are some of the advantages of data flow, right? So that is what uh, I can say. I don't know if you pick some things, Miriam.
Yes, I can work with that. But of your choice, which do you prefer to use on a day-to-day?
Uh, well, let's say that I do not have, which do I prepare? Most of it, in short, if I've done anything right, I'm sure that 90, 96%, maybe 96% is even too small. I've used Power Query. I mean, I work from desktop hub, so I don't do. I hope you understand. That means that
Yes, I do.
I am. That means that I'm using Power BI desktop. I do everything in Power BI, Power Query editor. Then I load and publish, right?
Okay.
But if I now, so it now depends on, just like I'm trying to, I have some float actually, which I cannot show, which is for client. You get the point. That's why I can't go to some. So the point is, if I now want to use, but majorly from Power BI up, so meaning from Power BI desktop to the cloud. So I've not been doing cloud down then. So let me know if I answered you correctly.
Yes, yes. Thank you very much.
So there are disadvantages too, but don't worry about. Don't worry about. Okay. Another thing you need to know is that there is no data flow in my workspace. You know, we talk about two workspaces, right? Which is my workspace and workspaces. So you cannot, this is what I mean. Let me, so that someone will say I didn't, I mean, it has a lot of advantage, but let's say I cancel this, right? So if I go to, remember, if I click on workspaces, right, and I type yes, then I can see that I can do some things in this workspace. So there is data flow. But if I go to my workspace, let me go to home. So if I go to my workspace, there is no, I can't do, take a look. There is no data flow. This is what I mean. Do you, please, did you get this? I mean, do you understand this?
Yes.
Okay, okay. So I don't want to, because if I begin to talk about something while we are not doing it, it won't make sense. If I say, because I need to relate to data gateway as it affects data flow. You get data flow using data gateway or the gateway data source don't support multiple credentials for same. I don't want to start speaking those grammar, not until we practicalize those are when you see that you know what that really means. So but data flow is actually very nice. I can tell you for that fact because you could connect so many things online, and at the end of the day, it's seamless, it's easy, it flows freely, and all of that. So that's what I can say. But it's very nice, very very nice. Arolo Miram, you wanted to say something. Your mic was on at the time. Let me know so that it doesn't look like I'm not. Your mic was on at the time. But if there are no questions, I
No,
can stop
nothing.
it.
I wasn't going to say anything. It's okay, sir.
Okay. So thank you, everyone. If there are no more questions for me, I could stop. On WhatsApp, we will agree when the next class is. But let me ask us, are there new things we learn? Are there some things you pick? I think it's important we take that feedback. So please, we can react. You could drop a message. You could unmute. Miriam Bombata, is there anything you learned? Is there any new thing you pick? Yeah, so you're doing your mic is on. Go ahead. But know that your mic is on, but we can't hear you. So Miriam, please, you can go ahead. So Miriam, please, sorry, you can go ahead. I was thinking that you're doing is talking to us. Ola, I thought your mic is also on. I hope. So Miriam, go ahead, please. Don't worry. I want to be sure. I hope it's not my internet.
Okay, so I was just going to say that I actually got something from the class, like the workspace and then the dashboard and the question that I asked about the phone app, because I'm actually really interested in in Power BI because so in my office, like, we are currently like working on like a regional calibration study, and I've been thinking of a way to give them the results in form of a visual, like, so I even wanted to ask that is there like a particular visual or a chart on Power BI that shows trend that would
Of course.
help in, yeah, that would help in doing like a regional calibration. So yeah, so this class is actually like a very, very fruitful one, and I'm looking forward to other ones too. Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome. So while I wait for others, it's just to show you, right? So if let's say you
Yeah.
want to you want to see trend of activity. So I'm using line visual here under visualization. All right. So let's say
Okay.
I want to pick date. Let's just to answer you right. And you want to see, I've chosen date, but it needs value to come up. So
Mm.
right. So let's say total sales, right? Now what you're seeing right now, though this is showing trend on yearly basis in 2011, 2012, but I really want this to show the activity on daily basis. Like, let me have it. So I will just say, do not use the data hierarchy. I'm just trying to answer you. It may require some more
Okay, sir.
explanation, but just to answer you now, what you are seeing now is a pattern of activities as they happen every day. All right. So I'm going
Mm.
to say, okay, what is the trend? Power BI is so lovely that you don't worry, even if you don't know whatever calculation I'm just saying, right? Look at trend line. So if I turn this on,
Mm.
it shows if you are growing or you can see the trend. I'm just so see Power BI. Apart from this, there's what we call anomalies that will even tell you. I mean that some things just to show you, right? My point is, I wouldn't lie to you. Power BI is one of the things that have given many of us breakthrough. What you will see right now is
Mm.
going to show some anomalies, right? Can you see? It's telling me that there are days that I exceeded expectations. Take a look. That there are days that look at it. Oh, expected value for that day is 119, but that day
Mm.
you made a sales of 143. The minimum you should have made was supposed to be 105, and the maximum you should have made was 133, but you did 143. Do you understand? I could now say, okay,
Mm.
can you explain why this happened? Probably will still go ahead and explain if you can find that information in my data. So, but just know that Power BI is a go-to applications when it comes to some of those things.
Mm. Okay. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. So others, if there are no other information, then we could stop recording. So I hope that it was worth our time today. So thank you. Yes, okay. The fact that there is a power query in. Okay, thank you, Lolo. Power in. Okay, good. Yes. Miriam, please go ahead.
Yes,
Arowolo,
thank
yes,
you very much, Mr. Jide.
yes.
So I just wanted to ask, like, the next classes, what will it be about? Because it looks like we've done a lot. So I just want to know what the next class will be like.
Because we still have some topics that people are dropping that we have not even touched.
Okay.
But do you have a specific need? Because you know why I'm trying to, because there are a lot of things. Some people also DM that while they are
Mhm.
working, this is, you get the point. So that it doesn't also seem like I'm not addressing the need. Let's just say 10 people have already requested for 1, 2, 3, 4. Another person is also DM to say this. So it will now look like, how can I answer this in one session?
Okay.
And you get, so that it doesn't look like some people are left behind or not attended to. At the same time, I feel like, no, if you do too many things one day, how will people be able to? So, but do you have a specific need? Tell me. If it is
So
part of what is on the list, tell me, please.
I want to ask, like, are we still around Power BI and Excel for now?
Yes, because
Okay.
we have not even touched. We've not even done, you get, there are a lot of things. Some people have issues with DAX. They want us to help them look at
Let's
it.
do that.
You want DAX, right?
Yes.
Okay. New people, do not worry. DAX means calculation. So maybe next class we should focus on DAX. So
Yes.
everyone that is still on the call, if you're in support of DAX, next class? Kindly show with a raise of hand. So I will work with you, then we'll put that on the group. Everyone that is on the call, if you are in support of DAX for the next class, in case you are saying what is DAX, DAX is calculation, like 1 + 1, 2 + 2, 3 + 3. So I'm waiting for hands. All right. So we'll take it that we are looking at DAX next class. All right. So when I drop a message as per that, many people should like it to just react to it and agree. And so we use that to. So thank you everyone for being on the call today. I'm going to stop recording, right? And okay. Hello, what is the difference between Azure and when you say SaaS, are you saying SSES? Or software as a service. Software as a no, Azure is a different thing. No, Power BI is another thing. I don't know why you can't hear me, but that is the question I asked. Okay, so Azure is also a cloud platform, right? So Azure is not the same as Power BI. All right, Azure is not the same as Power. Just see, there's Azure SQL database, right? Just you have database, right, in the cloud, which is a data source. All right. So just like you have SharePoint, right, which is a data source. Will I say Power BI is a data source? Power BI is the visualization engine that goes into all these different data sources. Please, when can we get the video of today? Of course, as soon as I think I've stopped recording, right? Let me see. Okay, let me stop recording. So as long as it's available, right? You can see I'm still sharing my screen. Okay. So I would share the video once it's available. So I just stop sharing now.